I flipped on the lights and silence greeted me. The chandelier cast a golden glow across the polished floors. The wine glasses sparkled like little stars. The table was set for 12, but every chair sat empty. No one came, not a single person. Instead, my phone buzzed with pictures. Smiling faces gathered around my sister's brand new car, champagne raised high like she'd just discovered the cure for cancer. That was my family, my own blood, and they picked her shiny toy over the home I had poured my heart into. In that moment, it finally hit me. I had never been their priority. It wasn't new. Growing up, she was always the favorite. I was just the shadow. She got applause for grades, presents for every achievement. I got silence, sometimes even scolding. When I bought my dream house, I thought maybe, just maybe, things would be different, that it could bring us together, a chance to celebrate as a family. But instead of laughter and warmth, I got an empty house and a text from my mom. "Sorry, honey. Your sister's unveiling her car today. We'll catch the next one." The next one? Like my life was some rerun they could skip? As the lights hummed above me, my phone rang again. My dad's voice cut through the line, sharp and urgent. "We need to talk now." His tone carried that familiar weight, commanding, disappointed, like I was the one who had let him down, as if their betrayal somehow needed my explanation. I didn't yell, I didn't beg, I just listened. He went on about family, about loyalty, about how I should understand, but I'd understood for years, too well. I hung up and sat there in the quiet, no anger, no tears, just clarity. They thought I'd keep crawling back, no matter how many times they chose her over me. But I had something my sister's car didn't: permanence. This house wasn't a trend, it was a fortress, a weapon. So I started building my plan, brick by brick. Fears. The deed. I rewrote the ownership papers, airtight, ironclad. Every inch of the property locked under my name, no co-signers, no family ties. Next came the trust fund my grandfather had left behind. They thought it was gone. What they didn't know was he had tied it to property ownership. Whoever held the deed controlled the trust, and now I held both. 2 weeks later, I invited them again. This time, they showed up in full force. Cars lined the driveway. Laughter echoed through the halls. My sister strolled around like royalty, already making little claims on rooms as if they were hers. I watched her fingers trace the marble counters, watched my parents nod in agreement, watched them assume, once again, that I would play the generous sibling and hand everything over. But I wasn't there to give anything away. I was there to lock it all down. Dinner was served. I lifted my glass. "To family," I said, steady and almost warm. They smiled, relaxed, convinced nothing had changed. That's when I laid down the truth. The deed, the trust, the money, all of it. Mine, legally sealed, irrevocable. At first they laughed, but then I slid the documents across the table, stamped, signed, official. The color drained from their faces. Forks froze in midair. My sister whispered, "That's not fair." "Fair?" I said. "Fair was you choosing a car over a home. Fair was leaving me alone in the house I built while you toasted leather seats and horsepower." My dad's jaw locked tight. My mom tried to soften her voice. "We didn't mean," but I cut her off. Calm, cold. "You meant it enough to leave me standing in an empty room, so now I mean this. You'll never touch a cent of this. Not the trust, not the house, not me." They argued, they pleaded. My sister slammed her hand on the table, but I had already won. Because revenge isn't about who shouts the loudest. It's about who cuts the deepest. And nothing cuts deeper than watching what you thought was yours slip through your fingers while the person you dismissed holds it all. When they left, they didn't slam the door. They shuffled out, broken, defeated. Their little empire of favoritism fell apart in one night. And me? I stood in the doorway, the same spot where I had once waited, hoping they would arrive. But this time, I wasn't waiting. I was watching them leave. I don't need their approval anymore. I don't need their applause. Because that night, I finally learned the truth. Family isn't just about blood. It's about who actually shows up when the lights turn on. And they didn't. So I turned those lights off for them, for good.